because when you said what you started to say, I've had people ask me, I'm like, that's a good thing, because like you're being used, you've got something of value to offer that people want. And then you said the next part, and it was like, oh. Welcome. Clapton, how are you, bro?
Good, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
That was cool, man.
That's not good.
That was all good.
That's not good. They're gonna think we're friends. They're gonna think we're friends.
Yeah.
That's very awkward. I kind of caught you off guard because I don't think you're expecting a handshake from me.
No, I wasn't, but...
Yeah.
How are you, bro?
I'm chilling, man.
I'm good.
How are you?
I'm nervous.
Why?
It's my first one. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what it's going to look like or what's going to end up like, but I'm here.
You know, nerves are good. There's that general saying that nerves mean that you care.
Yeah.
So if you're not nervous, I'm a bit worried. Why have I said yes to?
Fair enough, yeah.
The fact that you're nervous, it means that you actually care about, one, how it will come across to people. Two, the material, the source of what's going to be said. It means it's important to you. You got to make sure people actually feel that they're taking something from it, which is good. So it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Thank you, man.
Good sign.
So this is in first person. This is Clapton in first person.
And him.
This is Clapton's story. This is who Clapton is. This is what you're going to become. This is who you are now. This is your lessons, your experiences. So I know you.
Yeah.
I think it's a good point to start off with, who is Clapton? For those who don't know who you are, who is Clapton?
Do you know what's so crazy? A lot of people were saying to me they feel like they don't know me. And I was like, I'm like an open book. my Instagram is like a diary. Like, if you're paying enough attention, I'm probably telling you everything you need to know. But who's Clapton? That's a good question. That's a very good question. I think ultimately, I would say, first and foremost, I'm a son. You know, I've got two amazing parents. My mother, my father, who I love passionately and deeply. I'm also a brother. You know,
I did not know that one.
Yeah, I'm a brother. Yeah. So my mom and my dad's side of the family, my mom and my dad's marriage, I'm the eldest son. Okay. So I've got a little brother who I'm very protective of, very passionate about. It's not little no more, it's 27 now, so it's not so little. So, but I love him, we're like best friends, we're inseparable.
Your younger brother's 27?
Yeah.
That means you're older than 27.
Yeah. But people think I'm 22. Or 21.
You're older than 27?
Yeah. Well, I have to be.
I didn't...
Yeah.
I thought you were like 25.
I get that a lot. You know what? That's a bit too old. Normally it's like 21, 22. So 25, I'll take that. So I'm a brother.
Yeah.
And then on my dad's side of the family, I'm a brother, but I'm not the oldest anymore. So I'm like the second eldest.
Okay.
Again, same thing. So I'm a brother. I'm a lover of people. I love people. I think, imagine a world that is as big as it is, and the greatest population is people. That is saying something. That there's some value in people.
Yeah.
For them to be the most overly populated species on planet Earth, there's something special about them. And we need to be curious enough to find out what that is. Personally.
Has that always been your sort of standpoint in terms of like love? Like
Yeah.
love of people?
Yeah, I think a little bit known to me. From a young age, my mom, I grew up in Zimbabwe. Yeah. So I'm not from England. My accent gives away. I grew up in Zimbabwe. And my mom and my parents would always say that Clapton, I was that child there was about 12 of us. Not in, like, my mom had sisters, and they had children.
Yeah.
So we all lived together. And out of all the 12, I was the one that was never home. But they knew where I was always in people's houses. Talking to the elderly people, like the grandmas or the streets, etc. So I guess I've always loved the idea of people and being around people. So yeah. Even in school, you'd always find me, yes, I was popular, I was good at sports, I was good at pretty much everything, you know. But you find me with everyone, you know. You find me with the cool people, you find me with the nerds, you find me with the ones people look down on. I was just everywhere, man.
So how does that become you? So the child who grew up in Zimbabwe, grew up in going to school and was always with everyone. How has that shaped you to who you are today?
It shaped me in a massive way, because when you're around people, you discover that people are even more interested than you are. Like, I'm very interested. I am. And I love like my quiet time, my quiet space, because I find myself fascinating. Like, you can leave me in the room by myself, I will not be bored. I promise you this. I will never have an urge when I leave the room. As much as I love being around myself. But being around people, I realize that they're more fascinating than I am. So much more fascinating. So people think I'm very loud. And from this podcast, you're gonna think it's very outspoken, I'm not. When I'm with my friends, I'm the quiet one. So it taught me how to listen. To be a good listener. When you're around people, you learn that people, like right now, I'm doing all the talking. That tells you people love to talk about themselves. They love to talk in general. So being around people has shaped me to become a good listener. Because I've learned to be more. Do you get it? And I think it's also shaped me to be. I was looking back at 2023, and I was gonna make a post about this, but I don't know if I'm gonna post it. But it's here, right? I was looking back at it, and I said, "Wow, this year has been a year of Clapton. Can you do me a favor? Clapton, can you do this for me? Clapton, can you recommend this for me? Clapton, rarely any Clapton, are you okay? Rarely any Clapton, can I do something for you? You know?" And I think being around people, you also see the frailties of mankind as well, where we're so I-centered that we don't realize that sometimes all Clapton wants from you is to hear, you okay? I know I probably can do a favor, I probably can. And I'm happy to do you a favor. But when I look back at my year, I was like, 90% of it, I even wrote a post, I was gonna post it. I said 90% of it was mainly, Clapton, can you do this for me? And the 10% was you that would check in and say, is there anything I can do for you? Are you okay as Clapton? You know, and that's why I had to do this podcast. You know, despite how cold it is, despite everything that's going around me, I said, here's one of the few people this year that actually had the decency just to give me a call or text outside of wanting a favor or wanting a thing. So that
is heavy.
It's heavy, yeah. And it hurts. It hurts. It hurts more than I portray it to people. Yeah.
That's heavy.
I know. But I guess it's also the price you pay, I guess, for favor from God. Maybe that's where a comforting way of looking at it. I'm saying maybe this is the downscale of having what God has given you. Because one thing, asking God to be known in the nations, it means that people are probably going to use you more than they care about you. You know, and you become more like Him, more like Jesus. You do. You do. You really do.
Because when you said what you started to say, I've had people ask me, I'm like, that's a good thing, because like you're being used, you've got something of value to offer that people want. And then you said the next part, and it was like, oh.
No, but that's the part that no one sees. I think when people go on my Instagram and they see our worship nights that we've done, the success of them, praise God, thank you, Jesus. And thanks to everyone that came and that supported us. We appreciate you guys. They see the modeling, they see all the other stuff that they see. They don't see that side. How lonely it is. How most of my phone calls on my call logs are not even about people calling me to help me. It's, can I have this? Can you do this? Can you recommend this? You know, so.
Okay, how many of those people are you close with? What percentage maybe?
I think even that I'm beginning to question. Because it's like, Is our value of our friendship based on what I can do for you more than who I am? So it's like, I think 2024 is going to be a year of questions, you know, and that's not to say that I will not do favors. If I can, it's in my will and it's in my power. Of course I'll do it. But I think for me, it's been a reality check this year more than another year, you know, where I said, wow, as soon as the favors run dry, they don't call you no more, they don't text no more, or they don't like your stuff no more. But it's like, you just kind of work that through with Jesus. But then ultimately, I always say, if I change, the devil has won. Because all he wants is to change my heart, to become a stony heart, a cold heart. So if I change, he's won. So even though I know what's going on, it don't take away the pain of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sighing because you're preaching.
Yeah.
I'm sighing because I haven't told you this, but I'm in, or was, a very similar situation to you. I'm quite a bit of a giver too, and over the past months and even maybe a year, I felt quite isolated, quite unseen. I think the main word is unseen.
Ooh.
And it's hurted me.
Yeah.
It's hurted me. And on Sunday, today's Saturday, last Sunday, 6 days ago, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna not become cold, but I'm gonna step back a bit. I'm gonna just sort of be myself. I'm quite outgoing, quite extroverted. I decided I'm gonna be introverted. I'm gonna keep to myself. I'm not gonna socialize too much. I'm not gonna check up on them too much. Maybe here or there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that came from a place of hurt.
Yeah, it does. And can I give you a piece of advice that my ex-girlfriend gave me? One of the best advice ever. I thank God for her life. She went to me, Clapton, never let anyone make you act out of character. My ex-girlfriend told me this, because no one can never make you act out of character. So the second you allow people to now make you change your DNA, you're giving them a lot of power there, my boy. It's a lot of power. And I always say to people, like, imagine how you're gonna feel when you finally give yourself how you normally give yourself to the right person or the right people group. Yes, it's painful. That's always my comfort. I say, you know what? One day I'll meet someone like Stefan.
Yeah.
Now I've met you. All that I've been through was worth it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's always a
silver lining.
Yeah, and also what I would say as well, got to backtrack to what you were saying. A lot of people will almost say, or trying to make you feel, to gaslight you, and they'll say, yeah, but maybe God is teaching you something. But I beg to say, maybe God is exposing I'm a bad friend. Maybe God is not teaching you something. Maybe God is showing me that I'm a bad friend. Because a lot of times when we hear people like you speak up about how you guys feel, we're quick to say, nah, but yeah, we get it. We're sorry you're going through that, but maybe God is trying to strengthen how you love. But no, as your friend hearing now, I'm thinking, rah.
That's on me.
That's on me. That's on me. You know? So it's like, I feel like when people like you speak up, we then see where we're falling short as friends and as people around you. You know, you shouldn't have to stop going out of your way for me to realize that I also got to be there for you too. It shouldn't take you having to change who you are for me to, oh my goodness, why is Stefan no longer doing this for me? No. Relationships are one of my biggest words, whether it's platonic or dating or community, reciprocation. Everything has to be reciprocated. It cannot be one-dimensional. It has to go both ways. So I think what you have to do is have a tough chat with yourself. And after you've had a chat with yourself, have a tough chat with us. And you can't go into a conversation sparing blushes or sparing people's feelings. Because at the end of the day, you'd rather spare my feelings than kill yourself in the process. That's not healthy. That isn't.
You really are speaker, aren't you? You really are speaker, aren't you?
I guess. I guess so. But no, don't die till I say I've been. It's like that saying in when you're an air host or for example, let's say the plane crashes. They always say the first thing you do is
Put your mask on yourself.
So save you first, and then have the chats with us. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but those that love you will hear you, make the rightful changes, and also know that some people are just some people, and it's good to let some people go. As much as you love them, it's good to allow them that license to. If God allows you free will, hey, give him free will.
So we've spoken about your year and how everyone's asked you for favors, but how has your year been besides that?
Incredible. Oh, what a year, boy. What a year.
Walk me through it.
2023. Oh, gosh. The year that the jam was made. That's what I call it. I call it, what would I call this year? I'm him year.
I'm him.
I realized slowly but surely that I was him.
So 2022, you didn't really...
No, but you know what? I blame myself. And not in a critical way, but in an honest way. I think when you've been me for as long as I've been me for, you would know what rejection feels like. The way I worship, is not typically accepted in the black communities. So imagine how I feel being black, being of African descendants and growing up in Africa, coming to the UK and getting my most rejection from people that look like me. And then that made me question my anointing, my grace, made me question if I was called to this. People don't see that. They see the accolades, they see the great stuff, but they don't see the internal dialogue that I have about.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, man, like, you're not coming to this. People that of my skin color, they don't even accept me. They don't even invite me places. And then 2023 came. Yeah, it came. The name that God gave it to me was that the year of the unexpected glory. The year of the unexpected glory. I have it in my diary at home.
When did he give you that word? Before the year started?
Yeah. Every year, God gives me a word of the year. This was the year of the unexpected glory.
And he's come through.
Absolutely. So 2023, looked at this. It started off in January, but for me, it started off in November.
Okay.
Or September time. Yeah, September time. Started off September. Had the incredible opportunity of meeting one of my heroes, Steve Harris. He's like this amazing man. Before anything else, before his title, it's an amazing man in general. He's helped grow us talking about last year alone, about 15 million plus in businesses in America and beyond. And then to have him come into my life as a mentor and also as a friend, that was life transforming. Got an opportunity, recommendation to do a runway for modeling, so to walk the runway. Again, prior to this year, I thought I was ugly, I wasn't good enough because of what I'd been through. So again, unexpected glory. I went from no modeling experience to being checked. My first ever exposure to modeling was the runway.
The big boy stuff.
Yeah, it's not like, bro, like, gonna say it's crazy. That was crazy. That was insane. I got a lot of help. Shout out to Mel. I know you're gonna see this. Shout out to a lot of people that helped me at the fashion shoot. Same thing. That was incredible. So that was good. I opened my eyes and met amazing people that I can even call friends or social friends. And then the worship was probably the biggest thing.
So all up until now, it hasn't even been 2023 yet. The runway, Steve Harris, that all happened at the end of 2022.
No, that's 2023. That's all
okay.
Yeah, I'm just messing with the timeline.
Okay.
The timeline's never right, but I mean, it's my timeline.
Fair enough.
And then somewhere in 2023, I've always had the heart to host worship nights or music nights. For those that don't really know what that term means, it's a room full of Christians and believers. We sing to Jesus, all that amazing stuff. I wanted to create a room where people who are atheists, non-believers, part of the rainbow community, LGBTQ+, anyone can walk in and sing along. Because the love that God has shown me, it's changed me, and I know where I've come from. So if God can change me, I don't care. I'm convinced that anyone can change. If I can change, bro, I am convinced anyone can change. And I wanted to achieve it and do it. I want to achieve and do it for preaching. Why? I said, no, I want to live a life that is so convincing enough of my character that my character alone will preach for itself. Because Ed Sheeran never preached to me to listen to music. Pop Smoke, may he rest in peace, he never preached himself to me to hear his music. 50 Cent, Justin Bieber, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, Caesar. Yeah, people can look down and say, oh, they're part of that kingdom, whatever. No, but they've done something so excellently, or who they are is of so much curiosity that people recommend them to me without me being in the same space as them. So I wanted to live a life like that. I was like, okay, cool. God, work on my character. No, there were times where I didn't do music or worship for about 3-4 years. I moved myself from the stage. No one asked me to, not even God. I just saw what people can become by being on the platforms. They don't greet people in church. Because they're on stage, they believe that I don't know what they've become.
Yeah.
But it's like people down in the audience are less than. So after the stage, they don't go and say hi. They don't go hug people.
Greet, they don't.
And I saw that. I said, whoa. I said,
not me, boy.
I said, Lord, time out. I'm taking 4 years out, yeah? 4 years out. Look, do no worship nights. I'm not doing no singing. I'm not writing no songs. I'm just going to stay in my room with you. Remove anything in me that is like that. Because it's easy to point a finger when you're in the audience.
But then when you're on stage.
So I knew right now it's easy to perceive the error because I'm not there. But I'm not waiting to get there to correct that error. In fact, I know the error is in me, it's just not exposed yet. So God, don't call me on stage until you removed it. So when everyone, like this year, to call me new, it's offensive. It is. Because if you knew the price it took to be new, you wouldn't say what you're saying. I could have been here 5 years ago. I could have been here, because I was part of one of the most biggest church movements in the United Kingdom. But I turned it down. I was still in the church. I just moved myself from wherever could see me.
I like to think I'm quite aware of myself. I'm quite self-aware.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm quite knowledgeable of my tendencies, my behaviours, etc. But what you just said you've done all kind of different level of awareness and humility, whereby you can see someone else's error and know that error is within you, but it just hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's there.
How do you? Where did that come from? Because I don't think you don't just passively just develop a level of self-awareness like that.
I think I'm a very honest person with myself. I am. I think it came from reading the Bible. There's a trend that I noticed with men and women. I said, oh, okay, fair enough. I ain't gotta be David to learn from David. I ain't gotta wait to see Bathsheba to kill someone. This girl. I don't need to wait for life to present to me that situation to correct a potential threat within myself. Even if I never get an opportunity to see Bathsheba, I want to go and train in the boxing ring to make sure that if one day ever comes across, I'll win. That's what it was. It was like I might never ever be exposed or be tempted by these things, but not 0.1% chance that I could be
risking it.
I'm not risking it, because I've seen the people that I look up to in worship, in music. Eventually, when their gift is no longer gifted anymore, you hear their character. And I refuse to be another stat for the devil to use towards divorces in the Christian world. I refuse to be another worship leader that non-believers can look at and use as a tool to discredit God. Even though that shouldn't be the case, but that's how they justify their behavior and actions when they come to the church. You get you hear the stories,
and it paints a bad picture for everyone else.
So then I said, well, my time is coming, not to do the acts. My time is coming where I'll be
in the spotlight.
In the spotlight. No. So I said, God, remove me from the stage. In fact, I removed myself. And I went to him, I'm not picking up that guitar. I'm not accepting no invitation. I'm not going anywhere until you say I'm ready. It was then I went to church at Elam, and prophetess Jessie Green from America, she went to me in front of everyone. Hey, you, sing. No one in the room knew I could sing. She had no idea who I was. She gave me a mic, and the first thing she said, I know you don't do this often. How did she know? That's what I knew, that he had finished that 4 years of whatever was still in there. I knew that was him saying, green light. You can now pick up the guitar. You can now slowly, and that was like last year.
That was last year?
Yeah, so only now I've done worship nights.
So what's been the delay then since last year you've got that green light from God, but only doing the worship nights this year?
The delay has been the right time, the right place, the right people.
Okay.
The right time, right place, right people. That's what you need. Like I said, I'm black. And my worship style is CCM. That's contemporary Christian music. So I play guitar because I'm named after Eric Clapton, so I'm just leaving off my name. So sorry, black name. They be crucified, we understand that. Just like, come on, man. We can all be great with different styles and sounds. So I said, God, you give me the sound, and I think all God was doing was repositioning me to the right audience and the right people. And then when I became around the right people, the doors and the platforms, by platform meaning the opportunity to do it at that scale just opened up. And you didn't have to pray. Sorry, Christian, that's not they're gonna come at me and say, oh, idiot. No. When your time comes, the time comes. I mean, God, everything about you is already pre-written. There's nothing anyone can do about it but you. I can change that. So when I begin this, one thing about me is I believe in prayer. I'm a prayerful man, but I believe in observation. And knowing when God is moving. I've observed him enough in the wilderness for 4 or 5 years of me and him alone, and I know his behavior to a degree. So when I saw a specific friendship relationship change, I said, that's my sign. Or I'm always in this particular room, but when I'm in this room, I'm being asked to do something by a specific man of God. That was my sign. That God said, hey, come underneath here. I need you serving underneath here. And everything that I did was never, I was serving so I can get an opportunity to host worship nights. No, I was just doing it because I love Jesus. There was never, I'm going to serve in this church, so after 6 months or 6...
Like a game plan, you never...
No. Most of the times I've been asked to do something in church, I didn't know.
Just spontaneous, just...
They tell me, hey, open up service. I'm like, huh? Hey, introduce on the guest pastor or the guest prophet. I'm like, huh? So To anyone listening that's young, forget strategy. Have a clean heart and pure hands, and God will open doors for you. So yeah, so this is the right place, right time, right people. And then I think this year I finally found my people. You know, people that love me for who I am, not for what I do. You know, when like you ask someone something and there's not much contention around it, that's, for me, that's always a clear sign that God is in it. You know, not me trying to beg you and convince you. That
It's smooth. It's not a battle. It's not an uphill battle.
That's how I know God is standing for me, whether it's friendship, relationally, church-wise. If I feel like I'm fighting to exist in a space or in a friendship, maybe
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm not saying friendships and relationships won't have issues. They are, but if 90% of that thing is contention, maybe just let it go. Maybe just not for you, but for someone else. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think I had the opportunity of meeting Apostle John Featherstone, who I love deeply, his wife, Mama P, his daughter Esther and Gracie, and just serving in Elam. And honestly, I'd been in Elam before. I'd been there before. But it was never a thing of...
Is that the one in Wimbledon we went to?
Yeah, I watched him now, yeah. So it was never a thing of like, oh, I'm doing this to get this or to do that. I was just simply, I loved them. I believed what God was doing in the midst of them. And I said, okay, cool, God, where can I help? I never went to them. Anything I do in life, I never go to the man of God or woman of God. I always go to God and say, God, how can I help that person? And God will tell me, and I'll just come and do it. Or when they asked me, Clapton, can you help with the toilets? Yes. I asked God. They came a week later, I said, can you help with the toilets? I'm not asking why. I don't care what it is. For me, it's always about Jesus. It's never about the stage. I gave it up for 4 years. So it's kind of impressed me.
So you never really plan. You don't strategize. You don't set a game plan out.
No. The only game plan that I've got is how can I keep my hands clean? How can I keep my mouth clean and my heart pure? That's my game plan. Everything else, I just leave it to God. I leave it to the hands of God. I say, God, you know what? It's in your hands. Honestly, they there's no tactic. There's no... Even when I post on Instagram, I don't post... People say, but you should post at 6 p.m. I don't care about what the algorithm. I should post at this time. I'm like, no, I'll post what I want to post. Why is it that someone is giving me a construct of how I should live my life? How I should be? I'd rather be organic, authentic. That means that I missed out on opportunities. Just they weren't meant for me. People that made it see me will see me. I strongly believe in that. And I don't have to manipulate them seeing me. Because whatever you manipulate, you have to maintain.
My mind is more of like effective or efficient. So if I'm going to post whatever post at 6 p.m, I'm posting it because it's the most effective. If my mission is to speak to people, is to inspire people, that's my underlying mission. So if I post at 6 p.m, that serves the underlying mission because it's more effective to reach those people.
Absolutely.
But what you're saying
That's amazing. But guess what? 8 billion people are also posting at 6 p.m. So how effective is that really? It is effective, like, don't get me wrong, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if everyone is under a general consensus that posting at 6 is effective and we're all posting at 6,
it becomes weak.
So catch me at 3 p.m. And I promise you, bro, when I watch my stories and I see who watches them, all of them watches them. So I'm like,
But the general idea is not so much about posting at 6 p.m, but just that you're not confined within certain parameters or certain structures. Okay, this is the game plan for this 6 weeks, and after 6 weeks.
No, cut me out. Count me out.
That sounds like a very
free life.
Yeah.
I'm very free.
Very crazy, very spontaneous, very... I imagine myself in that life and I'm confused.
No, but the thing is, in my life, it makes sense. So there's nothing that's ever out of touch. If you ask me what I'm doing today, I'll tell you today to what I'm doing today.
But if I ask you what you're doing tomorrow?
I can't tell you until tomorrow comes. Nah, of the church, of course.
Yeah. But
there's general stuff that I'll know I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say I don't want to find myself in strategy is because without knowing it, even your friendships become strategic. Even if you take time to really tether, you know, when you begin to really, I'm a thinker, so everything I do, I never look at surface level. I'll tether it, every action. You come in here today, what did I come here for? What, did I really come for Stefan's podcast? Or was it a hidden agenda that I'm not aware of? I will tether it until
you get to the bottom of it.
I take it to the bottom of it. So for me, it's like, the reason why I want to live like that is because they're friends that I speak to where they don't know that they're speaking to me businessly, not as a friend, not like a friend. So we're having a general conversation, nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
But the way they're formulating it and speaking it is if I'm in a board meeting with my manager at work. So they don't...
They're on the clock. It's not conscious.
Yeah, I don't know how to switch off from that world of doing things like that. Whereas my world, I can, like we're doing now, I can have a very constructed conversation.
Yeah.
And be able to tap out and say, I'll be human again for like next 24 hours. But yeah, formula works. It works. But I'm just a free person. I'm a free man. I've done well so far, so I guess
it works for you. It works for you.
Yeah, it works.
So when did you come to Zimbabwe? When did you come back? So when did you leave Zimbabwe then?
2004.
How old are you?
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I asked that question because it seems like a big theme of your life.
It's probably the biggest decision of my entire life, and probably the one that and I say this humbly, and I know it's like it's gonna sound wild, my biggest regret. That's not because I'm not appreciative of the life that I've got here or the people that I've met here, but I would I'll take some people with me, a few people with me, but when you grew up in Zimbabwe, where I grew up in, we didn't have much, but we had each other. I'm not just talking about my family here. It's about the community. You know, you wake up, everyone would greet you good morning. Your next door neighbor knew who you were. The next road knew who you was. The whole community. The same in Woolwich, right?
Yeah.
All of Woolwich knew who you were. No harm could ever come to you. Kids were going to school by themselves from the age of 4, 5, 6, walking by themselves. Why? Because everyone knew who the mother of that child was, and everyone made sure that child go to school.
Get to school safely.
I would rather be living that than live where I live right now. The UK is very lonely. It is.
I was going to say, because it seems like a big theme of what drives the way you worship, your experiences, a big common theme is rejection.
Yeah.
And that feeling of loneliness and being by yourself and being isolated. So I'm guessing it obviously started when you came.
Yeah. I think I went from... now you said that, now you got me thinking, it's crazy. I think I went from being the poster boy. So like my family, there were 12 of us, but I was everyone's favorite. So God of everyone. I live in this world, you know, where everyone's connected, right? And I was just thrown into this world where I had to grow up fast. From the age of 7, I had to make sure that my little brother was okay. He was going to school. His clothes were ironed, eaten, because my mum didn't work and help. But I feel like I became an adult from a young age. And then I was too black for the white people and too white for the black people. So I never really So that's why I'm just free, because I had to be
Okay.
everything to
okay,
everyone,
okay,
because
okay,
there would never
okay,
be a specific demographic you always find me in, because I was too much for that one, or too little for that one, or too little for that one. So I was always floating. I was always
That makes sense.
in a sphere. And then in church, my worship style is very contemporary. It's not yabba, yagaba. So that, man, I never fitted in. I never got invites, even though God can argue and say, but Clapton's anointed. People knew. It doesn't sound like it was hidden. So there was that. And then it's like, a cool. The only person that accepts me is Jesus. So when I worship, I go all out. Because I couldn't care less what you lot think. Because if I cared about you lot thought about me, by now I would have changed to become like you lot. And I haven't. And that's because Jesus gave me the freedom to know that it was okay being Clapton. And he never asked me to become something I wasn't already. He told me that he loved me for who I was. I said, this feels like home. This feels safe. This is safe, Clapton, we're safe. Finally, we found where we belong.
And it wasn't with anyone else.
Jesus.
But so would you say your relationship with God, with Christ,
It is my most important relationship that I've got.
it was catalyzed by having no friends, or by...
But never fitting in.
So of all the things he is, all the things he is, the one thing that's been the most to you is a friend.
A friend and a father. My most two inconsistent people of my life. Parents and friends. He became them. And he's very good at it. Very good. So that's why when people see our worship and they get at me for being too passionate or too expressive, I would say, if you maybe sat down with me for coffee or tea, maybe you would get it. Maybe you cut me some slack. Because even in church, people would penalize me for our worship, being a passionate worshiper, expressing my gratitude and thanks.
Really?
You know, whether it's in dance, whether it's in shouting or some praise, whatever it is, you know, people would come at me for that.
Really? And say what?
Like, if it wasn't for one of my first ever pastors, Dr. Brad Norman, and Pastor Bianca Lino, or Healy now, she's married now, you know, they had to create a section in church where I could worship freely.
Serious?
People were complaining he's too passionate, he's too loud, he's too...
What does that mean though?
If I knew, I'll tell you. So
Clapton was too passionate.
Yeah, so even in church, I'm rejected. So it's crazy. My life is crazy. It's crazy, boy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So that the very place I thought maybe I would finally fit in or whatever, I probably face more rejection in the church than I have in the world. I probably explain why I've got more worldly friends than church friends. I couldn't name you about 3 or 4 church friends I could probably say my friends. I'd probably say, people would say ouch and hear this, but I think me being honest, I have a lot of acquaintances or a lot of people that I know, but none of them really know me. But I've got more worldly people that really know me.
That bothers me. Because I know it's not just you. What? Why? Why is it that as a church we should be the example? We should be the ones who accept, who love, who portray Christ as he portrayed himself.
Because whether we like to believe it or not, we're very pretentious.
As a church generally.
Whether we want to admit or not, church people are very pretentious, well-off facade. It's almost like you scratch my back, I scratch yours type of thing.
Transactional sort of.
Yeah. So most of the friendships and relationships are based on who's your pastor, your prophet, your apostle, your evangelist. If my one is different, we're not friends anymore. Men, you could be friends before anything. I could have met you prior to church, for example. You go to a different church, I go to a different church. We're not friends anymore. But in the world, my best friend hero could be like my boy Dre 6, Skepta. Mine is Chipmunk. We're still best friends. We can have different people that we look up to or we might see as the pinnacle of the music we like, but we're still best friends. But in the church, you cannot have contradictory thoughts, or you cannot respect different people. You have to be very cliquish. So if I say the top apostle is Clapton Isaac, you must also believe it's Clapton Isaac. So the church is I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't use that word I was going to use. But the world looks more like what the church should. Because when you look at the LGBTQ plus community, they have actually understood love more than we have. Despite the different fractions, they've all united for one goal: love. But the church can't.
That's deep.
If the kingdom of darkness can understand the power of unity, despite having subsections within a specific
You're preaching.
Mandate, but they can come under objection, under submission to a superior vision, which is love.
Why can't we?
Why can't we, the church? We're quick to throw stones at the LGBTQ plus. I think we should applaud them before we throw stones at them. We could learn one or two things from them. Imagine you got the gays. The gays don't believe what the lesbians believe. The lesbians don't believe what the gays believe. The trans they all have different, at the core, different belief systems, but they all became subjective to one common goal: spreading love. But the church, we fight daily, we oppress each other daily, we cancel each other daily. I find it fascinating. Church politics. I can't worship with that person because my pastor was upset with that person. Or I can't be friends with that person because what? But we don't talk about those are the skeletons in the church that we hide behind anointing and grace. I think what would happen if God for a moment did not allow the shadow of his glory to fall on all of us and we really saw the church for what it really is? Would you invite your best friend to church that's not saved? I know I wouldn't. The only times I invite my friend to church is when I do stuff, because I trust me to a degree. I don't want to invite my friend to church and someone hurts them, and that's on me. So I think maybe the lack of people coming to church is because the people that can invite people to church, like myself, i.e. or e.g., I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. What do you mean I want to bring someone else who has no idea or context on the faithfulness of Jesus? Oh my God, no. Crazy. That's crazy on me. So yeah, that's why I believe that the world is what it is and the church is what it is. They are more honest. In the world, can be honest about it? My worldly friends, they don't spare my blushes. They don't spare my blushes. So they don't tell me what I need to hear. They tell me what it is, whether I like it or not. I all my friends that are non-believers, I know exactly where I stand. But all Christians, I don't. So I'm walking on eggshells. Because Christians will tell you one thing and behind your back say another thing. What worldly people, they tell you the same thing to you.
And away from you.
Such people I can respect. Yeah. So I guess rejection has fueled my passion for Jesus and my passion for people. So I guess I'll do it all over again. Yeah.
That is some... I was not expecting this.
Now, because I think people get to see Clapton as this expressive, passionate, loving person. But beyond that person, there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of life experiences. There's a lot of traumas that became healings, that became victories. You know? And one thing that we tend to do as people is we tend to blame the devil a lot. But as I looked at my life,
There were decisions you made.
they're my choices, man. Times where I've hurt people, and my friend tell you, if I'm wrong, I'll say sorry, bro. I'm not gonna say, oh, devil, or the devil. No.
It was me and me alone.
It was me, bro. He didn't tell me to pick up my phone and lie about you, did he? Like, people want to be using the devil like as a girl jail free card. But when someone gave you a call and said, oh yeah, what's Clapton like? And you lied about Clapton, you can't say the devil. Come on, bro. What did he do?
Takes away our accountability.
Yes. That's another thing that church don't do a lot. They like to, oh, Rema is doing demonic stuff, or Drake, or I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah.
But what are you doing? You're lying. You barely greet people in church. At least Rema's honest about it. At least Rema has the decency to say, this is who I am, and he wears it. I can respect a person, but you want to be out there doing this, but your character, how you speak to people, how you speak to your family, your friends, it's worse than Rema. But yeah, it's always easy to look at the flaws in other people than look at the flaws in yourself.
Now that you've told me you spent 4 years by yourself, I can see it. I'll be so honest with you. I can see it.
I can have my own dialogues in it.
As I'm talking to you, it's like I can visually see you in your room by yourself for 4 years.
Yeah. Great time. I'll do it again. No, but I would say this to anyone that's listening. You are more interesting than you think you are. You as a person. When you spend time to really question, why would someone, a God, who's without reference, but there's a lot of references. No one can trace him, but he can be traced.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about it that way. He chose to come and die for you. Think about that. Forget about sin. Because I know we like to talk about sin a lot. No. It was more than sin. He loved you. The idea of you being away from him, he couldn't fathom. Think about that. The idea of being, yes, he dealt with sin, but that wasn't what it was about. It was about spending eternity with you, not sin. He could have dealt with sin in another way. But it was like, I love you. You're so intriguing to me that I want to spend all eternity with you. But yet, we don't spend time to inquire about ourselves to God. What is it you love about Clapton, God? I love that you got a big mouth. And I know whenever I take with someone, you're going to talk about me anyway. That's why I love you. I love that you're unhinged. but get to say, this is what I discovered he likes about me. The very things that I thought I didn't like.
We're shameful, we're guilty of. It's the same things he loves.
He loves. So if there's anyone listening, the most important thing is to find out about you. You take time, sit down for a minute. It's not go on Instagram and just sit down and just think, God, what do you love about me? Allow him to tell you. And some things are gonna be uncomfortable. I love how you speak, Clapton. Really, I speak fast. No, but I love it. Accepting my singing voice was a challenge. But God loves it. Remember, the first time I sang to God, one of the first time I sang to God is my room. Not first time, but for make it more dramatic. I got my guitar. Now I can sing. Before grace. I got my guitar. I stood up. I just started singing this song on my guitar, a spontaneous song. As I stood up, God stood up. Before I knew, I was in a court of heaven. See all the angels, the elders, everyone is there. And God went to everyone, be silent. My son has come to worship me. couldn't sing. I couldn't keep a key. It healed me, bro. I couldn't keep a key. Nothing. He silenced the angels, the elders, the cherubims to hear me. He stood up. When the king stands up, that's I mean, he stood up and said, everyone, yo, time out. The silence come to worship me. That's how amazing you are to him. He silences heaven. Whenever you say, dear Jesus, before you get to that us part, it's always silence heaven. He's like this. What has she or he got to say today? And that's the person you silence every day. God silences heaven to hear you.
And you silence yourself.
I'm not good enough. There are people better than me. Well, people say they want to sing like angels. So if God is silencing the angels to hear my voice, who am I now to silence me? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So those 4 years, they helped a lot. They helped me to know through all, here's all that I've got. And for me, it's not just a figure of speech. It's the honest truth. Here's all that I've got. It is. How can I, like, one of the biggest things that I've struggled with was lack of support. You know, someone that supports other people. Not that I ever do it with intentions of
receiving.
I told you I don't do it for strategy, just do it because I want to do it and I feel like doing it. And I do 50,000 streams in 15 days with no support. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people I can name on my hand that promoted it. Now you see what this God thing is personal. How have I ended up here? You've heard my story. You've had the lack of support, not being accepted in the black community because of how worship is different to the black community. Not getting any retweets or reshares or any congratulations or well done. But
How are you?
How are you? Yet I ended up at Runway modeling for the first time. I ended up doing 50,000 streams in 15 days. Worship nights, they're both sold out, respectively. One was 100 plus people. Other one was in the room that we're fully packed. To be friends, people that people look up to. I won't say names because people say I'm dropping names. Dancer Ball.
Make it happen.
Make
Make it happen.
Being friends with the likes of Dante Ball, all these people that are prominent figures in the world. How? God, Jesus. Clean hand, pure heart. That's the formula, no strategy. If I can give anyone a strategy that's listening to this, your strategy is clean hands,
Pure heart
and a clean mouth. That's it. Yes, do the other courses you want to do. Let them be like cherry on top, but they shouldn't be the foundation. The foundation should be clean hands, pure mouth, and pure heart. Because if I can make it this far, 2024 is going to be crazy. The announcement
I'm excited
about 2024, when you don't hear this, I pray and hope what I'm about to announce has not already been announced. Then you'll be like, no, what, maybe I should listen to this guy. I got this far, not because I'm a good singer. There are people who are better singers than me. I'm a good talker. I can talk. I'll happily say that. But singing, modeling, the stuff that I'm excelling in,
You shouldn't be excelling it.
I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there. I'm not being humble. I can speak well. I can host a room well. I will tell you what I'm good at. But the stuff that I know that
On paper, you
shouldn't be. Why? I left and no strategy. My strategy was do everyone right, even if people never thank you. There are people that to this day they've not even said thanks. Am I waiting for it? No, because God has already given it to me. There's a verse that I wish all young people and ministers will actually take seriously. Is never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. All I see on social media now, I've helped this person, I've done this for this person, I've done that for that person. The hypocrites do that, Jesus said. Some things keep him in secret. We don't know how many people you've blessed with £1,000 or how many people you've given opportunities to. You don't. Some things just stay there between you and God, and you and that person. You know? But we're in an age where everyone feels that they got to prove themselves. So I hear it. But I don't agree with it.
That was a heavy hour.
Yeah.
Hour and a bit.
Yeah. I told you I'd give my best.
I honor you, man, a lot. Thank you for coming the time out to talk, to be vulnerable. You've been vulnerable. You've been free as you always have been. And I honor that and I respect it. And I know for myself and other people listening and watching that there has been something to take away. And I'll be honest with you, I'm speechless, I'll be so honest, because as I'm talking, I'm still thinking about what you said an hour ago, 10 minutes ago.
No, but at the same time, as we wrap up, at the same time, it's me being is a testament of who you are.
You being here is a testament of who I am.
Yeah.
How?
Because I wouldn't do it for anyone. I wouldn't travel from Hertfordshire to Common House. Custom House.
Yeah.
Custom House. I wouldn't, especially in this weather, wouldn't. So it's a testament of who you are. I think you gotta give yourself as equal amount of credit as you give us. I look at you the same way you look at me. You know, so it shows how much of a great person you are. You know, you've sacrificed a lot. And the people don't know this, when I had the 2 worship nights, God sent you randomly through our brother Marlon Moore. I didn't know you at the time. Marlon was meant to come by himself to do the vocals. And then I didn't have a drummer. And then he brought you. And Marlon didn't even know I didn't have a drummer because the drummer dropped out last minute. But I didn't tell Marlon this. And you just showed up. So to do this, it was a list that I could do. The very least I could do.
Thank you, man.
So I thank you. No, I should thank you. You've made my 2 biggest nights successful. And I thank you for that. And I honor you for that. I just pray that and hope that this podcast platform that you have and the other great stuff you're going to do this year and next year to come, they just take off. I think it's time for good heart people to start winning. It's time. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, bro. I love you, man.
Love you too, man. Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.